Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing another discussion video, and this is about some recent-ish news that has come out, because as of right now, which is December 16th, 2020, there is a coronavirus vaccine out. So hooray! The pandemic's over, we're all good, right?
No! We're not good! We suck!
So in this video we're going to kind of discuss, just the vaccine itself, or really just coronavirus vaccines, and are they safe or not? The big question, are they safe? Should we take them? Should we not? But before we get into it, please subscribe. If you really like these videos, subscribe to see more, because it really helps me out. Like this video, let's get this maybe to 20 likes, and share this video out. So thank you, and now let's get into this. So what do we really know about these vaccines? Now, the only one that's truly been released, publicly, I guess, that we know of, is the Pfizer vaccine. The Pfizer BioNTech vaccine. So what do we really know about it at the moment? At the moment, we know it was made by Pfizer BioNTech. It is the first vaccine ever of its kind. It is an RNA vaccine, so brand new type of vaccine. Supposedly, it is 95% effective. It was made within record time, within a couple months. And supposedly it grants immunity, or not really immunity, 95% protection for, at this point that we know of, 4 to 6 months. And that's really it. That's really all we know about it. We don't really know. And at this point also, it's been approved, from what I know, in the UK, Canada, and the US. I'm sure there are other countries that I just can't think of off the top of my head. But yeah, at this point, just like I was about to say, at this point we really don't know much more. Like, we don't know what's in it, we don't know really much, and we really don't know anything long term about it. Like, anything more than 6 months, we really don't know anyone. No one knows, not even the people that made it, that created it. And, that's just it. We don't really know too much more than what I just said. So let's kind of get into this question. Is it safe or not? Well, like I said, we truly kind of don't know. They say it's safe, but we don't really know, because not that many people have taken it yet. And so let me tell you how about I tell you my opinion about it? Am I going to take this? Am I not? I don't plan to take this vaccine at all, or at least not anytime soon. Now obviously, someone like me probably won't even be able to get it until probably sometime next year anyway, but even when it does get released, I don't plan to take it at all. I just don't think. The reason is because this vaccine, we don't know much about it. It's a brand new type of vaccine. It's the first of its kind. No vaccine before has ever been an RNA vaccine. We don't know how long it even lasts for. They're saying that at this point we only know it lasts 4 to 6 months. So after that, what happens? Is it worthless then? We don't know about that. We don't know beyond 6 months, and we don't even know long term. What will this vaccine do to people after it's been in your system for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5? We have no idea. No one knows. And it's just, I don't feel it's necessary. Now, before people start calling me an anti-vaxxer, I'm not. I've taken probably every vaccine that you have to take before to go into school here in the U.S. And, there's a difference between that and this, Vaccines, they save lives. They've saved plenty of people's lives before, since their invention, but there's a difference between this vaccine and others. The difference is, those vaccines, they were not made in such a short amount of time. And as well, the other vaccines such as like polio or chickenpox or even the flu vaccine, they've been out for years, if not decades at this point. If there's any negative long-term effects, chances are we would know by now. And if anything, we do know. But with this, we don't know. Like, we don't know what could happen in the future. We don't know. For all we know, people that take this, they may just drop dead because of this in years to come. Or may even start a whole nother new pandemic. Or a worse strain of coronavirus. Who knows? We don't know. That's my point. I don't want to take this thing and then in a couple of years they say, oh yeah, this thing causes problems. And then I end up regretting it just because I took this thing. Do you know what I'm saying now? I know I'm not a doctor.
It's Mr. Dr. Professor Patrick to you.
I'm just a guy with a camera and a YouTube channel. That's all I am. Like, I'm not a doctor. I'm just giving you my personal opinion. And you guys are free to do whatever you want, like I said. This pandemic, of course, it's going on, but, I'm just saying it's not necessary. I don't feel this thing is necessary. It's not like a requirement in order to truly make it through, at least for me. So, let's kind of go into the quote-unquote conspiracies about this vaccine, or, some of the questions, just kind of the weird questions I've seen and heard over the past few months about this vaccine. So the first one does this vaccine, there's some people that feel that this vaccine has a microchip in it, and that supposedly this is all some secret plot by the rich to microchip and control the masses. Now, whether that's true or not, who knows? I mean, I guess it is by Pfizer BioNTech, but then again, if you don't want to find out, don't take it, I guess. Then again, I don't even know how they would fit a microchip in a vaccine vial. I don't know. That just sounds weird, but whatever. People can believe whatever they want. The next one is the vaccine will the presidential election affect this vaccine in any way? And well, to those people that are saying that. And the reason I'm saying this is because plenty of people, after Biden won the election here in the U.S., all of a sudden are wanting to take this vaccine, all because he's president. Like, I hate to break it to you, all of you top Democrats, but the presidential election, they're even saying, has nothing to do with the effectiveness of this vaccine. So, like, people that are kind of, like, saying, that, that kind of changed their opinions about taking this vaccine after the election. Like Biden and, I hate to say it, but Biden and Pamela Harris they're not going to like sprinkle something in the vaccine to make it better. That's not going to happen. I don't think. Probably not. But yeah. So the next thing is this vaccine going to be, the next thing is this, many people that say that this vaccine, that have gotten this vaccine, they say that people that after you get it, you won't have to fear the pandemic anymore. Now, one thing, and another thing that kind of is annoying me is, and it's kind of like annoying me, is that they're kind of like advertising to the people that you should be afraid of this pandemic. Like, like in that sense, you won't have to fear. They're making it seem like people do fear this. And yes, there are plenty of people that I know that probably have not come out of their houses in months because of this pandemic, or not nearly as much as they usually do because of the pandemic. They're scared of it, like scared to death of it. But, most people aren't. Most people, they're working, they're going to school, and they're just trying to live their daily lives as best they can. They're taking the precautions that we all have been for months, but they're just living their lives, as best as they can. So, I'm not, I just feel that advertising that, that they're kind of giving this thing, it's kind of false advertising in that regard. in terms of saying you don't have to fear anymore once you get this thing, because it's just, not many people do fear it, or not to the point that they're kind of sane. Another thing that many people are kind of confused about is the way that this is going to be distributed, at least in the early days. Chances are, once this thing truly gets going, and when other vaccines do get approved, it's not going to be, it's not going to be like going to the doctor and getting this vaccine like what we always do, or when we get blood drawn. It's probably going to be kind of like getting tested for COVID, everyone lining up in their cars, and then once you get up to the doctor, whoever or whatever's administering the vaccine, you just hold out your arm, and then they inject it into you. I can't talk. That's probably what it's going to be until maybe next year, or like in 2022, until like a majority are vaccinated. And probably another big one that I can think of is about, like, big question about this vaccine is this vaccine going to be forced? Do we have to take this vaccine? Well, at this point, the countries that I know that have approved for this vaccine, soon-to-be President Biden is saying no, he's not going to force it. And I know Boris Johnson said he's not going to force it, or he hasn't. And I'm going to guess, and I doubt Canada's going to force it either. And chances are probably most countries are not going to force this thing, or at least government-wise, they're not going to force it. Except maybe North Korea, but Kim Jong-un, he can do what he wants. Can't really stop him. But one thing that might come up, and that is a big concern in, is businesses, and specifically big businesses that may require it, that may require people to have this in order to go into their businesses. And we actually kind of do have an example of it. An Australian flight company, I'm probably going to say it wrong, but Qantas, like all of you in Australia probably know about this, that I remember back in November they said that they're not going to let anyone fly on their airline company if you don't have this vaccine. Like, if you don't have this vaccine, you can't fly. And there's a good chance that many other businesses might pick up that idea that, if you don't have this, if you don't take the vaccine, you can't go in. Or schools and other, smaller things. Like, what I'm saying is, it may not be required on like a government scale, but in terms of a business scale or just societal scale, some businesses might do that. And quite frankly, that's just wrong. Because basically the businesses are kind of saying, they're basically kind of using people's fears against them. They're basically saying, put your trust in this vaccine that, we don't even know if it's truly effective or safe or 100% safe, but it's okay. At least you won't get COVID. You won't bring COVID into our business. It's like, you're basically telling people to put their faith into this thing, even when the professionals don't even know if it's 100% truly safe. And there's also probably a good amount of people that not only won't take this thing, but at the same time just can't. This vaccine, it caused a couple of people in Britain to develop severe allergic reactions to it. And there's probably plenty of other people around the world that they can't take this thing because they're allergic to some of the ingredients within it. And as well, there's other people that people that I know that definitely should not take this just because they're on so many other medications for other health issues that, if they were to take this, they really could harm themselves because of it. And it's just, and in that regard, we really need to, we the people kind of really need to make our voices be heard to businesses and any other like officials that may think, we need to require this, we need to mandate it, we need to just say no, that's ridiculous. That's because, just for people that can't take this, and just, having people, and just people that don't want to take this, like, that's really just, no. And, like, that's just not a good idea. That's bad. That's terrible. That's really, and in a way, and quite frankly, it might, in a way, be illegal. And kind of like making people having to do this, take this vaccine, or else you can't exist in society.
Aren't you a part of society? Because if you don't want to be a part of society, Jerry, why don't you just get in your car and move to the east side?
That's wrong. Or, it'd be like, being denied soup from the soup Nazi in Seinfeld.
No soup for you.
It's just wrong. Nah, and I'm not the only person that agrees with this. There's plenty other people out there, some you may call conspiracy theories, that say no to this vaccine, and they have their crazy theories about all this. Some are crazier than others, but there's one person that made an article a little while ago that I want you to check out. Now, this person is in no regards a conspiracy theorist. This person is someone that really I think we should listen to, because this person is Dr. Michael Yeadon. Now, this person, Dr. Michael Yeadon, he was the former vice president of Pfizer. And back in October, he made this article kind of saying, just about the pandemic and what he's seen, and about also the vaccine. And he kind of stated, and he's made some really interesting claims about this whole pandemic. And that he doesn't say that the pandemic isn't real. He admits the pandemic is real, but he says that a good percentage of people, just might be naturally might have herd immunity, and that some of the ways of testing and determining if people have or even had this virus are kind of flawed, and that it may be making the numbers way higher than what they actually are, and also the fact that lockdowns as well may be doing more harm than good. And as well, he also says that this vaccine is not nearly as necessary as people make it out to be, and as well that and like I said, that vaccine requirements are also very wrong, if not illegal. And so I'm going to leave the link to that entire article in the description. You guys can read it at your own pace and leisure. Just because if I were to read that whole thing word for word, we'd be here for hours, which neither of us want to do. So yeah, down in the description, the link to is the entire article. Read it, enjoy it, learn something, I guess. So, bottom line, as we conclude this video, what is really, what do I say to people that are going full blindly into taking this vaccine? What do I say to that? What do I say to those people that are going blindly into this vaccine, not taking this vaccine, not really thinking? Well, to anyone watching this that feels that way, I say this to you.
You stubborn, stupid, silly man!
Yeah, it's just that, like I said, we don't truly know everything about this vaccine yet. We don't know. No one does. Not the professionals. Not us. No one. So I wouldn't say don't take it. It's just that, like, I don't plan to take it. But it's just that if you are thinking about taking this thing when it truly comes out, truly think about it before you do. Especially if you have kids. Like, do you really want your children to have this in them? But anyway, in that sense, I'm going to end this video off here. I hope you enjoyed this big discussion. Remember, like this video, subscribe to my channel to see more, and share this video out. Have other people see this, and truly kind of get to thinking about this whole vaccine, because as we start to move into 2021, people are really going to have to start to think about this. And before I truly end this, I want to leave you all with a quote that might, in a way, kind of help you think a bit more. So yeah, see you all then. Goodbye.
It's over.